Welcome back to the Senate Taxes Committee. This is May 17th, 2022. We're coming back together to start moving some items on our tax bill. I appreciated our conversations earlier today and yesterday. I know already those things have helped clarify some issues, and that has been incredibly helpful. And I want to thank the department for their help in getting those issues clarified right away. Thank you so much. And we have several, about 9, 10, 11 same and similar items that do not cost any revenue. There's no revenue impact. And we also have the TIF article. So our plan tonight is I'm going to ask Mr. Arneson and Mr. Cope to come to the testifying table, if they would, please, and explain the sames and similars that we will be seeking to adopt. And I'll be asking Chair Marquart after we've gone through them all to make one motion, and we'll vote on adopting all of them. There should not be anything controversial there. And we will save the TIF article for last and it will be its own motion because the TIF article is on the printer as we speak, so not quite here yet, hot off the press. So with that, I'll have Mr. Arneson start, and then Mr. Cope will fill in. And all members, you all should have the sheet listing the language, the article, and the section, so you can find that language for yourself in the bill. So, Mr. Arneson.
Madam Chair and members, members and the public, I think, have a list of items in the House and Senate bills. The title of the document is Conference Committee on House File 3669, May 17, 2022, 3:30 p.m. The document indicates two lists in outline format. The items indicated under A are selected provisions from the House and Senate files that have no cost and that are identical in both the House and Senate bills. The items indicated under B are selected items that have no cost and that are very similar in both the House and Senate bills. At the direction of the chair, nonpartisan staff on the Senate side assembled this list and shared it with House nonpartisan staff for their review. And I understand that House nonpartisan staff agree that these items meet that no cost identical definition. And the nonpartisan staff have jointly made a recommendation for the non-identical items under paragraph B, recommending that the Conference Committee adopt one side or the other. So, Madam Chair, maybe I'll proceed to the description of the items in paragraph A. A1 and 2 are the language in both sides relating to the interest rate on delinquent property taxes and on unpaid balances for repurchase of tax forfeited property. On the Senate side, these are Article 4, Sections 18 and 19. And on the House side, it's Article 4, Section 27 and 28, I believe. Items 3 and 4 are the aid penalty forgiveness provisions for the City of Echo and the City of Morton. Both of those provisions are identical in both the House and Senate language. The Senate language for the City of Echo is Article 5, Section 11, corresponding to House Article 5, Section 22. And the City of Morton language is contained in the Senate Article 5, Section 12, corresponding to House Article 5, Section 23. Item number 5 on the list is the public finance article. The entirety of the text of this article was identical in both the House and Senate files. This is House language Article 9 and Senate language Article 6. Item number 6 on the list, actually items 6 through 9 on the list are the Department of Revenue policy and technical articles corresponding with House Articles 11 through 14 and Senate Articles 10 through 13. Madam Chair, those are the no-cost identical items in both the House and Senate.
Thank you, Mr. Arneson. Mr. Cope, do you have any thing to add to that, or are you ready to move on to the next provisions? Mr. Cope?
Madam Chair, Jared Swanson with House
Oh.
Research. Mr. Cope
Mr. Swanson.
is
I got
online
the
if,
wrong name. Okay, thank you.
That's all right. I don't have anything to add. Mr. Arneson noted the House article and section numbers as well, and these, all of these provisions are identical in both bills.
Oh, thank you. And Mr. Arneson, so you have gone through all those in in A and B, is that correct? Did you move
Madam
on to
Chair, yes,
section
and
B?
maybe I'll take this opportunity to explain the items in paragraph B. There are two provisions there that are not identical in the House and Senate, but that do carry no cost on the spreadsheet, and which staff believed to be similar enough that we could make a recommendation on the adoption of one side or the other based on kind of technical characteristics of the language. So B, paragraph B, item 1 is the recommendation would be to adopt the House language in Article 10, Section 28. This is the provision relating to the city of Virginia and the city's exemption from the limit on net debt. This House provision corresponds with the provision in the Senate side, Article 4, Section 25. And members may recall from the walkthrough that the differences here are just in the effective date. The House proposes to make the provision effective on local approval of the city of Virginia. And secondly, item B2, staff recommendation I think would be to adopt the Senate language, Article 4, Section 12. This is the provision relating to the disabled veterans exclusion application. This Senate language is very similar to the House language in Article 4, Section 22, and the recommendation would be to adopt the Senate language in this case.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Arneson. Members, are there any questions or comments? Again, these are totally identical with no cost, save for the last two items, which are very similar, and we are taking one House provision, one Senate provision, again, no cost. So with that, Mr. Chair, would you like to make a motion?
Madam Chair, thank you. I will move approval of the items under letter A, Senate Language Article 4, Section 18, Senate Language Article 4, Section 19, Senate Language Article 5, Section 11, Senate Language Article 5, Section 12, House Language Article 9 in its entirety, House Language Article 11 entirety, House Language Article 12 in its entirety, House Language Article 13 in its entirety, and House Language Article 14 in its entirety. That's my motion, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Seeing no questions, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Your motion is adopted. And Senator, or I should say Chair Marquart, we also have Section B, if you'd like to move that.
Madam Chair, I will move what's under Section B, House Language Article 10, Section 28, and Senate Language Article 4, Section 12.
And any further comments or questions? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Your motion is adopted, Mr. Chair. So members, we have adopted those very same and similars. Chair Marquart and his staff and myself and my staff have been working on a number of issues today. And one, actually, I want to congratulate Chair Joachim and Chair Weber and Senator Rest have worked very hard on the TIF article, and we believe that is ready now to pass out, so you can take a look at that. And we would be ready to adopt that this evening, too. So if we could get the TIF article passed out, and then who would that be Mr. Sylvia? And from the House, who would be sharing that duty with you?
Mr. Cope.
Now we'll see Mr. Cope. All right. Called you up too early there. All right. So members, you all should have a copy of the TIF article that has been worked out with Chair Joachim, Senator Weber, and Senator Rest.
Madam Chair,
Chair Yuki.
I would also like to acknowledge Representative Herr was on that working
Oh,
group
and
as well.
Representative Herr, thank you so much. Mr. Cope, are you online?
Yes, I'm here, Madam Chair.
Okay. Mr. Sylvia, do you want to start us off?
Madam Chair, members, in front of you, you have a document entitled MS Art 6 Art 8 TIF for the timestamp of May 17, 2022 at 6:39 PM. This is the proposed tax increment financing article. The first 12 sections of the proposal appeared in both the House and Senate bill. These sections are from the Office of the State Auditor. This is the proposal that makes technical and clarifying changes to the definition of administrative expenses, certain pooling limitations, as well as violation statutes. There was one difference in these sections from the House and the Senate bill, and that appeared in Section 3 of the Senate bill. There was one additional cross-reference that was included. As I noted during the walkthrough, I believe the House had already acted on this proposal in committee prior to that cross-reference being noted, so that was a difference that did not appear at the House bill. But that was included in this section, Section 3. So the first 12 sections of this document are from the State Auditor, and there were no changes made to any of those sections. It was the Senate language that was included.
Thank you.
Section 13 is from a House proposal that I would defer to Mr. Cope to discuss.
Mr. Cope.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Section 13 incorporates, excuse me, I'm scrolling.
Mr. Cope, can you tell us what page you're on so we can be sure to follow?
Yes, I'm finding the page now. One moment, Madam
Thank you.
Chair. Section 13 begins on page 16. And this would be special legislation for the city of Hopkins. This was in the House provision with two changes being made from the way it was discussed this morning. That would be that the cap on housing and blight correction that was being removed in the House version has now been set at 25% of total increment. And instead of setting the total cap on increment being expended outside the district at 30%, it's now being set at 28% in this version. And then, sorry, excuse me.
Continue, thank you.
Yes, section 14 is the Savage legislation. There was a minor linguistic difference between the House and Senate version where the Senate used 5-year period at one point to discuss a change and the House used 5-year rule. This has been incorporated using the Senate's language. Section 15 is the Fridley special legislation we discussed this morning with one notable change, which is that the allowable use of tax increment has been changed from the Housing and Redevelopment Authority programs, which had been adopted prior to 2021, to instead making grants, loans, and loan guarantees for development, rehabilitation, or financing of housing, and for matching other funds from federal, state, or private resources for housing projects. Section 16, which was previously a House-only provision for special legislation governing a TIF district in the city of Plymouth, has been incorporated with, again, two changes from this morning. The first is that the extension of the 5-year rule to 10-year rules has been removed from the section. And the second is that there's now been a cap put in place on the amount of increment that can be spent on improvements to County Road 47, and that cap is set at 75%. And I'll let Mr. Sylvia discuss the Shakopee revision.
Thank you, Mr. Cope. Mr. Sylvia.
Madam Chair and members, Section 17 on page 20 is identical to what appeared in Senate Article 8, Section 14. This proposal would allow the city of Shakopee to create multiple TIF districts in an area composing of a large quarry. There were no changes made to this language from when it was included in the Senate proposal. This proposal, in addition to allowing those districts to be created, would also allow an extension of the 5-year rule and increase pooling from current law 20% to 80% under this proposal. And as I noted, Madam Chair, there were no changes made to that language. Section 18, the last section in this document, was identical in both the House and the Senate TIF article, and this would allow the city of Woodbury to extend the duration of a TIF district number 13 in the city, as well as to expend increment generated from the district for certain maintenance and facility and infrastructure upgrades to Central Park within the city. And all such expenditures are deemed expended on activities within the district. And there were no changes made to this section either, as they appeared in both the Senate and the House bill.
Thank you. So we've gone through the TIF article. And Representative Joachim, do you have any further comments that you'd like to make?
No, Madam Chair, I just want to thank Senator Weber and Senator Rest for working with Representative Herr and I at lightning speed, and very happy with the results.
Thank you. And Senator, Representative Herr, any further comments? All right, thank you. We'll move over to the Senator Weber.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. I just want to thank our staff. They certainly moved in a very timely manner today to get this worked out after we agreed to the principle and get it to the reviser, and helps to be first out of the chute before everybody else gets to the reviser, so.
That is my message, Senator Weber. That's right. And Senator Rest, do you have any comments? All right. Well, thank you so much. I'm ready for Chair Marquart. Are you ready to move this?
Madam Chair, I will move what's labeled here as MS, Article 6, Article 8, TIF. I will move and just add one comment to also thank Chair Joachim, Representative Herr, Chair Weber, and Senator Rest for moving very quickly, and it puts the pressure on us, Madam Chair, to
Yes, it
get our
does.
act together. So that's my motion.
Well, we appreciate the motion. All right. All those in favor of getting our act together quickly? No, teasing. All right. All right. All those in favor of Chair Marquart's motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. That motion is adopted. And we will continue working on sames, similars, getting down to brass tacks with some of those things that are very different in our bills. And my intention would be to adjourn for this evening. I don't see any other work in front of us right now that would involve a vote. But Chair Marquart, I know that we'll be speaking throughout the evening and the next day, looking to really wrap this up. So again, I do thank the staff. You've worked so hard today. It's amazing all that we were able to get turned around, and it's because of the great staff. So I thank you for that. And with that, yes.
If I might, Madam Chair, and I echo your comments on the great staff. We will meet tomorrow at 9:30, not 9 o'clock. We'll start at 9:30. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. We are adjourned. See you tomorrow morning.